Vitrio is a range of coloured, back-painted glass for kitchens and bathrooms and offers striking solutions for walls, surfaces, borders and more. The Vitrio range of products is manufactured in the UK by Glass Solutions Solar Glass, part of the European Saint-Gobain Glass Solutions network that's been at the forefront of glass innovation since 1665. This video production, accompanied by our Vitrio survey and installation guide, is for installation professionals supporting the specification, surveying, ordering and fitting of the Vitrio range. We'll show you all the steps in preparing for and installing Vitrio kitchen splashbacks. However, the same principles can be adopted for all applications that you're installing, whether it's work surfaces, kickboards, shower panels or others. For most applications, Vitrio is supplied in toughened format. This means that the glass has been heat-treated, which results in it being 5 times stronger than an annealed, non-toughened glass product. It also means that in the rare event of it breaking, it will break safely. Vitrio utilises low-iron, extra-clear glass as standard to maximise the vibrancy of the paint colour through the glass. Appropriate precautions should be taken and appropriate equipment used when preparing for and handling Vitrio. This includes wearing personal protective equipment and ensuring that all electrical, plumbing and gas connections have been made safe by a professional before any work's undertaken. There should also be an appropriate number of people involved at all stages of handling and positioning. For support on health and safety precautions, contact Glass Solutions Solar Glass or the Health and Safety Executive. Vitrio is an ideal product for both new and existing rooms. It can therefore be used on both bare walls or walls that have been previously clad. Glass is highly adaptable and as such can easily accommodate elements such as plug sockets, holes for taps, sinks or hobs, and can be made virtually any shape. Vitrio can be used straight on top of rough or damaged walls without the need for prior sealing or preparation. However, to minimise the spacing off the wall, walls should be made as flat as possible. A key part to any Vitrio installation is working with the client to understand their options and choices in key areas. These include options on the breakup pattern of the panels, on glazing up to or behind any valances, options regarding how panels overlap in corners, how panels can fit around a cooker hood and plug sockets, how panels can be finished around the edges, and on key visual choices found in the Vitrio end-user brochure in the areas of glass thickness, glass edging, corners and colour. Consideration should also be given to additional areas in terms of matching the requirements from another room, such as utility rooms, in relation to a neighbouring kitchen. Ensure that you have the appropriate equipment for surveying the area or areas to be glazed with Vitrio, a tape measure, spirit level, or laser and a pad and pencil. Step 1 in surveying for the installation of Vitrio in a given area is understanding and noting the breakup pattern of the panels. In this case, there are 6 panels to be installed in the kitchen area. Step 2 is taking tight size, height and width measurements, panel by panel, at several points across each proposed panel area to account for any deviation in wall squareness or flatness. Step 3 is the consideration of any obstacles such as plug sockets, valances or cooker hoods and sinks, hobs or taps on work surfaces. Exact locations should be noted before you move on to measuring for the next panel. Accuracy is critical here, as there'll be little room for adjustment. Particular attention should be paid to areas with multiple sockets or obstacles. While glass is highly adaptable, there are processing limits which should be considered. However, as in this setup in a utility room, even intricate layouts can be accommodated within single panels. After tight-sized measurements have been taken, allowances should be made for suitable tolerances and necessary packing pieces that separate the glass from other surfaces. These allowances are for tolerances on the cutting and processing of the glass, the depth of fixing material behind the panels, and any other room-specific factors. State-of-the-art equipment is used at every step in the creation of the bespoke Vitrio panels, from cutting to edgeworking, drilling, toughening and painting. Nevertheless, a plus or minus 2 mm tolerance on cutting and processing should be taken into account. On completion, final drawings, measurements and instructions can then be passed to Glass Solutions Solar Glass for manufacture of the Vitrio panels. Before installing Vitrio, once again check that all electrical, plumbing and gas connections have been made safe by a professional. Ensure that you have the appropriate equipment for installing panels effectively and safely. Personal protective equipment, low modulus neutral cure silicone and silicone gun, packing pieces of assorted thicknesses, lifting suckers, and the chosen finishing materials. If the client has decided that they would like panels to go up behind their valances, remove them and set them aside, ready to be trimmed to allow the Vitrio panels to sit behind. The first step of installing Vitrio on walls is to mark out where the panels are to be fixed, with a grid approximately 150 by 150 mm to ensure even distribution of fixing material. Step 2 is the painting of the walls at the points where panels will meet each other with a 1-inch paintbrush or similar. As standard, Vitrio with a flat polish edge is back arris painted, which means that the paint applied to the back of each panel is also applied to the back arris or back chamfer of the edge. The main face of the glass edge is kept clean. This ensures that one cannot see an unpainted gap when two panels are positioned next to each other. However, there will naturally be a very small gap between panels to prevent any glass-to-glass contact. The painting of the walls will therefore eliminate any possibility of viewing the wall behind the panels and ensure a high-quality end result. Step 3 is applying the low modulus neutral cure silicone to the marked grid on the wall, starting from the centre of a run for visual balance. Ensure enough fixing material is used to accommodate any deviations in surface finish. Step 4 is the mounting of the centre panel on two suitably sized packing pieces. Packing pieces are necessary in order to avoid direct contact between the Vitrio panels and the work surface. Direct contact would magnify any unevenness in the level of a work surface. Direct contact with another hard surface also increases the risk of the glass breaking. Step 5 is manoeuvring the panel into position and lightly bedding in place. Step 6 is positioning all remaining panels and lightly bedding them in place, leaving an absolutely minimum space between panels, albeit ensuring there's no glass-to-glass contact. Step 7 is fully bedding all the panels after adjustment, checking of levels and ensuring of minimum gaps. Step 8 is leaving the adhesive to cure in line with the adhesive brand's instructions. Packing pieces can then be removed. Any exposed edges and gaps can now be finished in line with the preference of the client. Regarding gaps both between panels and between panels and a work surface, these can either be left open on the basis that they're very small, or alternatively filled with a standard silicone, sealant or antibacterial sealant. Exposed edges can typically be finished in any of 4 ways. They can be left open, an option when the gap between the back of the glass and the wall is minimal. They can be filled with decorator's caulking and painted. They can be filled with standard silicone or sealant, or a trim or capping can be used. Vitrio products should be washed and cleaned using a non-abrasive cloth to avoid scratching, and clean water or a standard household glass or window cleaning product.